the L'Jarius Sneed discussion, and here's where we will get into this, because they were named. The Detroit Lions were named. Anywhere up to 6 suitors are involved, I guess, in the L'Jarius Sneed discussion. Spenny, mark me on any of this. Like, tell me anything that I'm incorrect on. Okay. We've seen it, right? We've seen the reports.
Yes.
So I want to talk about this philosophically. And I could see a path for this. I could see an interest for that. And I know that right away people would say, and I've heard this because of my good friends, my good buddy Terminal Dennis says, well, that's not a Brad Holmes type move. And I think that there's a lot of sentiment of that around the Lions fans right now, where yes, that could not be the case. But like, D-Mac, hear me out here. Let me give you the path for it. Because we saw this with the Rams. And I know Brad Holmes wasn't, the guy in charge or anything like that, but he was there. And have we seen Brad Holmes do some Rams-type tendencies?
Yeah.
We have.
We have.
We have.
Yes.
Like, that's fair. So, and this is true too, Rack, is it still weird to anyone else that the Lions are even being named at potential landing spots for guys like Sneed? What a time to be alive.
Big facts.
And
goes back to
Rack is right.
Right, no, 100%. But it goes back to us learning that we're a destination now.
Mm-hmm.
No, it is.
And guys, just pause. 2-time Super Bowl champion, one of the best at his position. We're legitimately talking about a pathway to bring one of the best players in the league here. Whether it comes to fruition or not, it's reality. That's what we have to get comfortable with.
Yeah, and so I guess, Spenny, I would have to go to you on this. This is more your realm than mine. Just cooking it up off the top of your head, and you're not a GM, but you and I deal in reality a lot. That's what I like about you. You would get in the fantasy, but you'll be in reality. What do you think a trade package from the Lions to the Chiefs? If you were trying to make the Chiefs give you L'Jarius Sneed, what do you think they would take? If you were the Chiefs, what would it take for you to get Sneed?
Probably a second and a fifth, a future fifth. Second this year and a future fifth.
That's it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cheap.
With 6 suitors?
Yeah.
You're right.
I think it's not going to cost you a first-round pick.
Really?
That's still cheap,
Yes.
though.
So
I would be stunned.
I guess I'll take the easy way, and say, so your pick, your last pick, your late pick in the first round this year, for him, is that too much, Spenny? Or is that?
I don't think it's too much.
Not for spending.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying, like, is that a realistic to think that, okay, if I give this up to land this guy, anybody opposed to that? Like, so Spenny's telling us a second and a fifth, right? Where, Neil, I've heard from your tone, and I understand it's like, wait, that's it?
Well, this all depends, too, where the trade package, are we talking about Sneed on that 1 year? You know what I'm saying?
you would have to
are you
work
talking about Sneed with an extension?
So here's the whole thing. Sneed on a 1 year. Is he worth that?
Not for 1 year. If I'm giving up the first, it's got to be a long-term contract.
Well, here's the thing, though. Time out. No, I disagree.
Okay.
In the window, just in this fact, in the window of the NFL, if Brad Holmes goes and makes that deal and tells you that first rounder, that's what other teams sort of do. That tells me, holy shit, buckle up, boys. This is our year. He thinks that, like, we're all in. Like, isn't that more the all-in move, or am I not reading that correctly? Even if it is the 1 year move, right? Then you know exactly where you're going for the rest of the draft. And I don't, like, am I reading it wrong? But to give away that first rounder for 1 year at L'Jarius Sneed, if they think that they're that close, are you against it? Is it put you back? No, I don't see. And here's the thing, because I go to Brad Holmes, and I guess the caveat is because I know with the rest of his draft picks, 4 out of 5 of them, 5 out of 6 of them will find a way into this roster. Yeah. So I can use this late pick, right? Which I've talked about trading out of the first round. Maybe that's just a little bit of Brad Holmes saying, hey, I'm looking to move this pick. Like, I'm looking to trade this pick. Don't be confident in me having this. I think everybody here, what would you take? You
I
want
mean-
that first round pick announced downtown Detroit, or you want it dealt for Ladarius Sneed for a 1 year?
Well, you know the people's answer to that
Well,
question.
that's what I'm saying. What, you're saying that they're going to take downtown?
No. You know.
Okay,
yeah.
well, good. No, because I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Sneed, right? Even on the 1 year, Kenny, because doesn't that,
Maybe.
my mind would be blown because that tells me that they're saying full speed ahead. That's a
I
full
get
speed
that.
ahead move.
Maybe if our team was more solidified and we had a run of going to the NFC Championship, if you want to spend a first round pick on a rental, that's fine. But in this position right now, a first round pick is very high for a 1 year rental.
See,
We still need a lot of stuff on this defense. That's the only reason I would say that.
see, I'm thinking window. Look at last year. Look
I'm
at how
siding with
close it is.
KG.
I get, I get it, but what I'm saying is, if they think they're that close, and I believe they're a year away too, and you're right, but the impact and the fact of what they have just because of how they draft and stuff, it's just something to think about, right? Because you get them on a 1 year, you get there, you get close. I don't know.
It would have to
It's
work.
just a question.
If you do that move, it's got to be a Super Bowl appearance, and at least, I mean, you can argue if they win or not, but you got to make it to the Super Bowl.
Isn't that what we want?
I mean,
as far
yeah.
he's telling you we're all in.
But if you don't make the Super Bowl, then it looks
Well,
stupid.
but it doesn't, because see, I disagree, because you've insulated the rest of it by your draft class and the guys you've already drafted, and I'm going by. He's going to continue to draft players, right?
Yeah,
So even
I
if
get
this
what you
is
mean.
your misnomer or you swing and a miss with this, you've still developed the guys, the branches, and all your young guys are a year older. All this other stuff, and the guys you drafted are developed. Yeah, it'd be like, what's any different than drafting Eric Ebron in the first round? Or missing on a pick or whatever. Like I think like the gamble just tells you that, because to me it tells me that they think. It's what the move tells me of what they're preaching at the Lions, is that they believe that they have enough to do that.
I get what you mean. I just wouldn't agree at this stage. Like, once the Lions make a run of being a consistent winning team, then maybe
This
you
is
can
where
do
we can
something like
agree.
that.
If this was next year, right?
Yeah.
Where we think they're going to be, right?
Yeah,
Like let's project to see where this team is, and right, and had this decision to make next year, it's almost more of a no-brainer, right? Because we think we're going to at least get back.
I could see it more next year, but depending on what they would do.
In the WoodwardSports.com chat there, Robert Colosi, a fun fact, you can negotiate the extension with Snead prior to the trade, so you're not in the rental situation. No, I understand that, Robert. I'm talking about philosophically right now, because it goes back to this comment for me. Real cream of wheat. Here's the meat, man, and this is what we're going to get into in the next segment. We aren't a Snead away from a Super Bowl. They still need a defensive line.
We are a Snead away from making the Super Bowl last year.
Because does it bounce off Snead's face mask?
No.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
Let's
identify where we are.
I think that we have to realize we're closer than you think. You don't have to be Buffalo and just always get there. Like, and that's what so trying to go into the conversations in Allen Park. What's Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell? If they feel that, like, but at the end of the day, it's like you started the conversation. We are in these streets, baby.